I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Hey man, what up everybody? It's John Escudero and I'm here with my boy CJ. Say what up to the beautiful people.
Oh, they know who I am. Let's just get to talking about Money in the Bank.
All right. So just after Money in the Bank, I was gonna talk about the main event, but then John Cena started dropping all these juicy little details about his retirement after the show. So I figured we would get into that real fast. Just get into the biggest damn story of the night because this is such a big blow. John Cena announced his retirement earlier, sometime in the middle of the show, blindsided everybody, but he announced it like he was just never going to wrestle again. And I was like, what? What is happening? He was going through a lot. I feel like he was seemingly emotional. He gave a great speech about, this is his time is coming, and he will be, he kind of made himself more and more clear as the night went on. And so at the end of the night, we find out that he's not exactly leaving yet. He'll be going from January 2025 through December of 2025. He says he hopes it will be from 30 to 40 dates. So first of all, I want to ask you, CJ, are you a big John Cena fan, or even if not, how do you feel about this? Where do you stand on this?
I was first kind of getting into WWE in 2004. I was like 12-ish years old. It was something that I did with my dad and my sister, and it was a good family activity. A lot of core memories for me involve John Cena. So it does get a little emotional for me to think about like this core facet of what really drew me in and kept me involved in wrestling is coming to a close. Time is what it is. It takes us all in the end, but it, and obviously in context, so that it's a little less morbid. I know that in-ring careers eventually end, but when it's Cena, it just hits a little harder.
I started watching wrestling a little earlier than you did, but I got back into it in about 2003, and John Cena was one of the first guys. I didn't know nothing about cultural appropriation or anything like that, so John Cena was one of the first guys to come on and make me feel seen. Like I was like, oh shoot, there's like a guy, there's like a rapper here. He talks like I talk, like. I didn't really think about the fact that he was like a big square chin white guy. It's like this. He's cool. Like he reminds me of the people I live around. Me myself. I listened to his rap album. I bought his album. The physical.
And I listened
CD.
to that album in high school.
I had it. I bought it to hear him curse. I was like, he's gonna curse. He's gonna say like the F word. It was awesome. It was a good album though. It went platinum. It's a rap album that went platinum from John Cena. You could never take that away from him.
And then the entire opposite parallel that he's also a published children's author.
I know. He's like he's like a complete professional suit wearing guy. But
real jack of all trades.
I loved him as a kid, and then as I got older, he was beating all my favorites over and over and over again, and then I hated him. I was like, damn, I hate John Cena. Damn it, he beats everybody. He wins the end of every damn main event. Every show felt like it ended with John Cena on top. And I was a kid, I was a teenager, so I was like, fuck, but
yeah, we got to. That was just I think that was just because that was more Vince's booking style of Cena's gonna draw me money, so he gets pushed no matter what. And Cena, I think, had, with all due respect, the whole Nexus thing is an example of having a little bit of an ego, maybe. And but no, I think that at the end of the day, he's. I don't imagine it's a far stretch of the imagination for him to get inducted into the Hall of Fame heading into WrestleMania next year.
That's definitely going to happen. I saw a suggestion here as I was scrolling by that Randy should face John Cena for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And normally I'm against things like that, but it's like, maybe, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it if we gave John Cena his 17th title run in the year 2025. But I did want to say, as a kid, I hated that he was pinning my favorites. But, as an adult, kind of seeing how popular WWE is today and comparing it to, not just 5 years ago, comparing it to when I was watching and they were tarping half the arena and it was rough. John Cena was on top and he was making money, and you could not turn from something like that to take a risk at a time where they weren't, they didn't have such a large cushion. The Benoit thing happened. The scandal with the steroids. So many things happen, and it becomes hard to trust anybody else on top, and it's hard. That's why they never turned him, because they didn't want to lose what they had. So I'll never, looking back on it, I kind of see now what it is. He was holding it together, when only that's what he was saying in his speech, kind of, or he was so emotional he couldn't get it out all the way. But I grasped that he was saying, even when the company is at its low and only the most hardcore fans are coming out to see you, that's kind of that era, and he put WWE on his back and he carried it, and that's why who he is today. And I don't know that we'll ever see somebody as big as John Cena again, if only because the company doesn't really like things like that. It comes out pretty cool in the end for them, but Vince was never, after he lost The Rock, he kept trying to make the company the what people come to see rather than one person, so that he doesn't have to depend on one draw. And it's not the worst business decision. So I just don't suspect that we'll ever see somebody as big as John Cena again, but we might. I mean, that's a boundary that new wrestlers are going to have to push. George Serrano says something that actually resonates with me too. John Cena pushed him to watch other wrestling companies. He was part of the reason why I also went out looking, and I was like, these other things are cool. What's this Ring of Honor? So I'll always have to thank him for that as well. But as for the future, as for who John Cena should be facing in this year, now knowing that it's a whole freaking year, now we got a couple of things to talk about here when it comes to 2025. You've got the WrestleMania match. You've got the retirement match, and you've got multiple new stars that we'd like to see him come across. One that I think should be obvious for everybody: I need to see him face Jacob Fatu, if only because John Cena and Umaga had such great chemistry, and I'd like to see him face the next generation. He already faced Solo. Like, we got that out of the way, so I'm not ignoring Solo. I'm just saying I'd like to see him face Jacob Fatu sometime in 2025 in a marquee match, not just like a SmackDown 10-minute thing. That's not going to excite me as much as like if they do, at a B show, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, some wild shit. But what about you, CJ? You got any off the wall choices for Cena in 2025?
As far as off the wall, yes, because I definitely had the thought of like Triple H might let Kurt Angle come out of retirement for for a stop on the Cena retirement tour.
Oh my God. Why did you suggest it?
Because chaos.
Evil.
Because Edge can't break his contract with AEW.
That's one I would have liked to see. Although I'm not gonna be too much for the rematches.
Would snap Cena in half.
Gunther. That would be awesome. Actually, that's one I'd like to see. But anyway,
Neither would fold Cena in half. Would not break him because he would choose not to. Oh, Stephanie McMahon in attendance. Oh my god.
I'm not sure. I think that was SmackDown. I'm trying to scroll past this Instagram, or Twitter thought. Like, yeah, that also happened. We'll talk about that in a second. That happened right after the show. He'll have to deal with that. But there's the WrestleMania match. What are you thinking? Hall of Fame week. Let's assume for sure he's going in the Hall of Fame. Who do you wrestle the night after that?
That is a solid question. Oof.
I feel like it should be a
put
legacy
no thought
match.
into that beforehand, FYI. Like, I'm actually combing through my brain to be like, what is the absolute, like, AJ Undertaker level of match without having to do a cinematic one? You know, like that perfect send-off sort of match.
I think you're right about that. Considering that the WrestleMania match isn't like the actual send-off, I think it would be okay if it's a full-on legacy match like a Randy Orton or a CM Punk. CM Punk at the press conference, or maybe he has said this in interviews too. I feel like I've heard him say this before. George Serrano brought it up in the comments. And if you have any suggestions, please leave them below. We love to talk with you guys. But yes, CM Punk says, you know, they're like Superman and Batman and that their careers are tied that way respectively. CM Punk is probably one of John Cena's greatest feuds. You know, the obvious ones. CM Punk, Edge, Batista, you know, I don't know out of those matches. I think the Edge one would have been good, obviously, because, you know, he can still go. He's on the other side of the border, though. So that one's all a little question.
Speaking of other side of the border, they had to get permission to get Jacob Fatu over.
That's right, because he's so dangerous.
Yeah, sure, that's why.
That's what they said. I was like, he was a child. He made a mistake. Stop. Stop talking about it that way. No, but yeah.
I think as far as a future opponent goes, I would have to say, even just, oh my god, I had the name and then I'm drawing a blank. Look, I spent too much time in the sun today. I am just dehydrated.
Understandable. Understandable entirely. It's but like I said, it's a big moment in history, in pro wrestling history, this announcement, and then the upcoming year. Netflix is
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Cody Rhodes. Like that has to be has to be the send-off match. Like, not even a passing of a torch moment, but just to have that sort of generational match. You know what I mean?
That's for a final match, and I imagine John Cena is gonna go out on his back just because he's that kind of guy. See, so somebody like Cody makes sense just to put over like the next generation. Because I feel like before that, he should win a lot of these matches, most of them. If not, you know, as many of them as possible. But the last one, he'll probably want to lose. And if he's going to lose to anybody, losing to Cody Rhodes and putting him over as the next super babyface, that's actually excellent. And I think Cody Rhodes is like a perfect match for him in a weird way. Man, that's a good. George brought up the fact that John Cena made his debut when Bron Breakker was 6.
That is insane. I got a lot to say about Bron Breakker, though. So
we are old.
Should we jump into
absolutely.
The main event?
We can talk about this main event match. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, defeating Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Wow. I mean, we kind of called this last night on the SmackDown show, and that this is what we wanted to happen. Not that it's necessarily predictable or whatever, but I had a lot of fun with this match. what did you think, CJ, of this main event? As I try to find relevant Twitter feeds.
Yeah, I thought this was incredible. Like, this was the best possible showcase for this new bloodline to establish some kind of dominance. Like, I was in the group chat kind of paranoid, like, they might bring back Roman Reigns tonight, but I'm glad they didn't. One, out of respect for John Cena, but two, I think because this was the best way for this new bloodline to show we can stand on our own. Solo is our tribal chief, and then give it some time to breathe. Like, this was a hell of a match, as far as I'm concerned. And shout out to that whoever booked that spot with Orton going ham on Fatu, and then he sets up for the RKO, and Fatu's already back on it. That was amazing.
I think, like you said, this was the best way to put the bloodline over and make them look like a credible threat. Jacob, it wasn't just Jacob. Solo looked great out there. He looked like a beast. He looked like he was in charge. It's coming around. It is coming around for them. And I thought it was too soon. I definitely thought it was way too soon to do the Roman Reigns thing. He just kind of mentioned that Roman, Roman couldn't defend the title, so now I've got to take it. So I figured it would be kind of crazy if he actually does take the title, but he shouldn't be ready for that. But we'll see.
I'm not against Cena and Gable while that comment was up there. I think it's given his, never say or like hate or whatever, like his never bully campaign. I think he'd have a lot to say to Chad Gable about the way he's been treating his family.
That's gonna be fun. That's actually a great callback, like you said, to Kurt Angle, and I'm looking forward to that. But just getting back to this main event really quickly, I gotta talk about that Tongaloa with the butt punch.
I had that right in my notes. It's like, how the fuck do you low blow a guy when he's got someone's head already where you're trying to punch?
He definitely. I don't know. I guess he was thinking what you're thinking. Like, how do I do this and not punch my brother in his fucking or my cousin in his head? And then he ends up sticking his fist up Kevin's ass.
Something.
But it's unfortunate because Tongaloa.
Stop scrolling Twitter, John.
Tonga fucking Loa is he already has this reputation of making mistakes, and we kind of make fun of him for that Okada chop spot, the old missed 619, missing his debut spot, and now missing something as simple as a low blow. He's
this is why he wasn't involved in the match itself.
That's exactly why. I feel like I hope they know what they got with him so that they're not disappointed. But fun match, though.
And shout out to Corey Graves for that Mountie reference at one point.
I missed that.
I can't even remember exactly what he said. I didn't write it down verbatim, but yeah, he had he called him by name. That's what it was.
Shit. But did you have any more thoughts about this main event match tonight?
No, I think this is the hottest I've felt about the bloodline for basically since WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they go ahead.
I agree. Like I said, it's coming together. I'm excited to see the bloodline moving along. They were a little ass, but like I said, I felt like it was on purpose. I felt like we were getting somewhere. I was letting them cook. They cooked.
Yeah.
SummerSlam versus Cody versus Solo seems a lot more realistic now. Even though I did kind of still expect maybe Randy would have turned would have turned on Cody at the end of the show. I was just kind of looking for it, but it did not happen. We're far away from that, if it's ever coming at all. But
Which, I mean, I think if they want to tell that story later on down the road, it only makes sense in that he's after the title. Because other than going full blown heel, which I don't see at this stage in his career, kind of feels like he's just having fun for the sake of having fun. So it's kind of hard to boo that.
Agreed. But I guess bringing it around to the beginning of this show, we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. That it was I had fun with it. They did a lot of crazy stuff. That's the wrong slide, and that's also the wrong slide. But Drew McIntyre ends up winning the men's Money in the Bank after a pretty wild ladder match amongst the men. What did you think of this match and the result?
Well, first off, based on the result, first thing I wrote in my notes after the match was, surprisingly, CM Punk didn't cost McIntyre the match. He's definitely costing him the cash in, though. So, like, obviously, we'll talk about that later on down the road. But, I mean, this match itself was fantastic. It was, like, everybody got their spot. And everybody looked good in the match. But a lot of great spots. Like Andrade hit a lot of offense in this match. I had it written in my notes, like he's too good to not be used properly. So hopefully he starts getting some more TV time. A lot of good spots. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. What about you?
I think they had all the right people in this match. Exactly the right people who are on the WWE roster right now to be in this kind of ladder match. I think they did get outperformed by the girls, but ultimately that's just a matter of they were willing to like throw their bodies on the line, and this was like a match full of professionals who are really good at what they do, so it was great. But the kind of spectacle of seeing the girls almost kill each other was kind of what put it over.
One of the best matches of all time, I would say. Definitely best women's match of all time.
People are mad that the briefcase got wasted, and I'm like, I said I knew. You're not going to have two. You're just not going to have two. They're never going to do that. They don't do that. And if they do, it's specifically to go out of the norm on purpose. Like, look, we got you. That just wasn't going to happen this year. There's no room for that. We have the right Money in the Bank winners who have those Money in the Bank stories set up for them. I thought this was a great way to deal with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and just the idea that this thing is a little redundant at the moment. The boys heavy advertisement. What did you? Where did you stand on that? That was the cum font is what I'm like. That's really weird. Like, why did we have this on around the ring? Like, what are we doing? But it's fine. Like,
we had it on the women's one too.
That's even worse. They
didn't have it on for the press conference though. So I think it was just for the event. You can imagine going forward, like they just blur it out.
They're gonna have to when somebody realizes what that is. But I thought it was cool that it was in universe. You know, like if this event happened in the boys' world, you know.
Like Michael Cole acknowledging Vought's CEO, Ashley, whatever her last name is, existing like she's a real person, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like I'm super into the boys, so I'm super into this.
So Jey Uso being the last person on the ladder, getting a ladder tossed into his face. That was actually hilarious. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk more about the Drew McIntyre thing in just a minute, because following this match, we had Sami Zayn taking on Bron Breakker and retaining the Intercontinental Championship. So, this was a good match. First of all, I mean, if Sammy was gonna win, then I guess this is the way to go. Because preferably, I would have just had a Braun run right through the motherfucker, just run right through his ass. But good match. What'd you
Yes,
think?
and good new music, but holy fucking shit, stop changing it. Like, leave it alone. He's
Yeah.
had 4 now. He's done. There was like a great match for sure. But I thought there was a definite opportunity to really give Braun a much desired, much needed push. He had been hyping himself up since not getting into the King of the Ring tournament, and he, yes, he backed it up to a point, but he had the chance to really capitalize and he couldn't make it happen. So he needed this win more than Sami Zayn did. So I think it was a bad call, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I gotta agree with
I'm
you.
glad he got a good hometown win in Toronto, though. Like, that's amazing. Because that's rare. Sami Zayn getting a win in Canada.
That's true. I guess they felt like they owed for last year, but then he got one this year too, right? They came back, or is it the first time they come back since then?
They had Elimination Chamber with Reigns, and then they had oh fuck. But there was a second one there. He just came up. Oh, it was Intercontinental title against Gunther, wasn't it?
That's right. That's absolutely right. And he lost in front of his family or whatever.
Yeah. So, and then and then he retained against Gable, and then got attacked. That was in front of his hometown, right? Because his wife was ringside.
You might be correct. I'd have to double check that, but I did want to say I agreed with you about the Bron Breakker thing. I'd seen a lot of people saying, this is great for Braun because I guess it gives him motivation. I was like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that train of thought at all. He's got no reason. He doesn't need. What the fuck does he need more motivation? What are you talking about? Like, what does that even mean? He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. They established him as capable of doing it all. He's just young. He didn't have the opportunity. Oh my god, my speaker just got really angry at me. I know she told me download the Google Home app in the background. If you heard that, that was my home speaker. But yes, Bron Breakker losing this match was ridiculous. I've go as far as straight up calling this a bad decision. Like, why did he just get pinned? He didn't even get screwed. He just got kicked in the face and pinned. That's the problem. He's just another guy now. He can just lose. I would have them taken the kind of route that they took with Will Ospreay, where it's like this guy has all the potential in the world, and he actually did climb all the way up the ladder, and then takes his first loss. Like, oh no, he didn't win the world championship, damn, but it's a world title match. Like, so what? Braun still got there. He can come back. A fucking Intercontinental Championship match. He couldn't beat Sami Zayn. He's just another dude on Raw now. This is bad. That was bad. I don't like this at all.
Hell of a 3 months.
It was good while it lasted. I'll tell you that. Damn right.
If he can recover, then I'm all in. But
I'm sure they're just the best thing they can do is just book it like if it didn't happen. Just keep moving forward. Just fuck it. Don't even bring it up. Just keep on just being Bron Breakker. But yeah, that bothered me. That bothered me a lot. Anyway, other than that, like I said, I spelled Damian Priest's name wrong.
Oh, and one other thing, while we're talking about Bron Breakker, before we start talking about Damian Priest, there was a oh shoot, where was that that note? Yeah, no, I fucking lost it. Yeah, sorry, completely blanked. Lost my place on the page and lost my train of thought.
It's all good. I just wanted to I just wanted to vent about that. That was a bad move. Triple H L rare lately, but bad move, big dog.
A little bit, yeah. I found my spot again. If they really wanted to capitalize on Bron Breakker, outside of putting him in the Intercontinental title picture, I'm surprised they haven't found a way to stick a radar at ringside in a way that can capture his actual top speed in the match.
That would be sick. That would be sick. It's pro wrestling. Just make it say 32 miles per hour and nobody will fucking question it.
Well, yeah, and that's what Michael Cole does on ringside or on commentary. And I'm like, there's got to be a way to actually test that.
Use a radar, like have a police officer at the ringside. He's gonna give him a ticket.
More like ring mounted, but okay.
I like the theatrics. I came for the theatrics. No. Anyway,
you're a sports company touting the athletic prowess of one of your athletes. Fucking show your math. That's all I'm asking.
No, you're absolutely right though. But we'll see how they bounce back from this, and they better, because that shit stunk. Triple H reminding people that NXT is going to CW this fall. I also forget sometimes, but it's still early, I guess. We still got a lot of time for them to pound you over the head with that promotion, as they like to do.
They're still trying to satiate Netflix.
They are. They started promoting that. That's the one they're excited for. CW is just like along for the ride.
Oh my! Like, hello, like Netflix, everything for me. Shout out Canada. So yeah, I'm excited for it because I can cancel my my Sportsnet subscription unless AEW ends up moving to Sportsnet. That's the only way I'm gonna give AEW another shot, because I'm not giving TSN another goddamn nickel.
That's the rumor, isn't it? They're moving over to Sportsnet. Yeah. Nice.
Well,
nice.
like obviously nothing confirmed, but that is the rumor.
Nice. I like those rumors. You know, us here at the Nursery Radio, we like them. That grapevine.
And I mean, comparatively, WWE got a lot better treatment by Sportsnet than AEW's gotten by TSN. I know we're gonna go back to talking about Money in the Bank here in a second. I just wanted to get that in as well.
Understood, but George says, does that mean Stephen Amell can show up on the NXT as Oliver Queen? Well, CW gave up all that DC shit like a bunch of dumbasses, so no. And no, you're not allowed. Fuck off. You don't get Arrow.
I mean, you could get Stephen Amell to show up in some Arrow like
he did at SummerSlam. Gear. He could just wear a green hood
and be Stephen Amell.
You have failed this city. You know, like nobody trademarked that.
This performance engine.
But yeah, man, we had the WWE World Championship match: Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins, which became Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. It was awesome. In that this moment happened. What the fuck? Okay, I think he got rocked, which, you know, that's less funny, but
for sure
he did just kind of not get that pinfall, and that's all anybody can talk about now. I tried to pull up just Damian Priest, and everybody could talk about the damn pinfall that he couldn't get he couldn't get up from. But yes, so to complete the recap real fast, Drew McIntyre cashes in. CM Punk screws him and inadvertently screws Seth Rollins. Damian Priest retains. So, CJ, thoughts?
Like, this match was very story heavy in the back end for sure. I don't think I've said it before, or at least lately, but the cinematography in this match in particular is so fucking good. Like, they had a continuous one shot, must have been some drone, from one corner of the ring around to the other corner and then kind of in between to the next one. And it was all one continuous shot. It flowed so amazing. And fuck Kevin Dunn. That's at the end of the day, fuck Kevin Dunn. I had it written in my notes that, like, obviously they set something up between Punk and Rollins, but they also set up something that they didn't capitalize on, the backstage interaction with Finn Balor backstage.
That's right.
And there was definitely some tension, and the closing remark by Finn Balor, very much hinted that he was going to definitely be parting ways with the Judgment Day, whether he won or didn't.
George, watching the press conference, brought up, while we were talking about the botched pin, Triple H brought up the same thing. He hates that it's going to be the takeaway of this match. He praised Damian Priest, saying he wishes he could take away his phone and let him focus on the good that happened tonight. But I imagine that means Damian Priest searched his name and he saw everything we did, because I was like, damn, that's like every result. That's fucked up. But yeah, no, other than that, I mean, it was a lot of good story moments. It felt it was hard to follow the announcement of John Cena's retirement at first as well. Like, it was kind of quiet. People, like, even I couldn't get in the match. I was just like, I want to talk more about John Cena.
Right.
But Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and Seth Rollins of it all really made it interesting towards the end. So it is what it is. We'll follow that up tomorrow on Raw. After that, well, go ahead.
This also does kind of all but confirm Priest versus Gunther for SummerSlam.
It does. They actually they put the graphic up on the screen during the event tonight. It gave Gunther this really cool he had like this really cool like a propaganda poster of Gunther versus Damian Priest. He looked like graffiti on the wall. That's gonna be, I just want to see Gunther win. I guess the quality could be hit or miss. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, that's gonna be fucking awesome. But I just want to see Gunther win. George thought the match was sloppy and completely lost the crowd until McIntyre showed up. Seth, I mean, listen, Damian Priest is okay, and I say that very nicely. but moving on from that, we had the women's ladder match. This was probably my favorite match of the night, honestly. They went out there and they fucking put it all on the line. They this is literally what they're gonna look like tomorrow morning, because there was a spot in particular, I don't where Zoe Starks.
What the hell is your Twitter feed?
It's all wrestling. Oh, this is
wrestling
the
and
women's Money in the Bank.
SpongeBob memes.
This actually is a wrestling meme.
I know, but what the fuck?
It's a great feed. I've curated it very well. They went out there, and even beyond just the stats that got messed up, there was just they were just willing to just destroy themselves. And I mean, that's a weird thing to praise, but fuck, I want to praise them for it. All of them.
Absolutely.
Everybody
like,
in this match.
they went incredibly heavy this entire match, and it really isn't surprising, like, to follow the careers of basically this entire roster from NXT is like, there's proof that there's a lot of toughness in this women's roster. No one in this match is a pushover, and that means, yes, I have finally come around on Chelsea Green.
Yay!
I'm willing to admit it. Yes, I can finally get on board. She's definitely someone that I would have considered putting the briefcase on, as opposed to Tiffany Stratton. Not that she doesn't deserve it, but I do think that there were better stories for the Money in the Bank to tell in the women's division that didn't involve Tiffany Stratton.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I actually think Chelsea Green winning here would be not the best thing for her career, as she's not in a place where she could theoretically be that in Bailey's spot. Like, not yet. Anyway, it's a good beginning. It's something that you want to see sustained first, just before you take that big of a leap, because then you give her the briefcase and you find out it doesn't work, and then you end up with like a Kaylani Jordan situation where it's like, oops, we may have made a mistake.
We'll see how she does tomorrow at Heat Wave.
That's what they're looking at too, right? Yikes. They got those notepads out. They're watching. But anyway, Chelsea, I'm glad that she got the reaction she did tonight. Like you guys are saying, she has really, really earned her keep here. In the past, like George mentioned, she got released twice, dog. She got released twice, and she had to overcome a glass wrist allegation. Like, her wrist broke like at the breeze of a wind. So like, it was looking bad for Chelsea Green. And when they called her back, I even thought, like, of all the people, like, this is a weird one, but okay. But I think it was Chad Gable that mentioned she's not given much, but she makes the most of what she's given. She makes so much more of what she's given. This comedy spot with Piper Niven, it should have been a death. That should not have worked for either of them. But Chelsea Green has made that work for them. I'm really glad for her. And she took that sick ass bump at the end of the night through the tables, which we've kind of seen her take some wild ass bumps in the past in Impact and in Lucha Underground. But it was the first time she got to show WWE fans that this is what she's made of. So great shit from the women. There was one spot I wanted to talk about. Somebody that surprised me. I can't fucking remember who it is right now. I am so sorry. It's gone. But
that's all right.
Nothing but praise. So, what did you think? Or did you have anything else to say about this match tonight?
Not really much. Congrats to Tiffany Stratton. I think that whatever they decide for, whether it's she's cashing in here or she's cashing in maybe on Raw, because they don't specify that that's for any one title, right? That's how they got away with the US title cash in last year.
Story wise, she's free to cash in on anybody, though. If you look at the trajectory of what they're doing now, I kind of see that happening on SmackDown,
for sure.
Like with Nia Jax. George did bring up a point that we probably would have missed. Lyra Valkyria had an excellent performance tonight. I mentioned that it could only be her or Tiffany Stratton here, because these are the ones that make sense. And Tiffany being the heel, winning the Money in the Bank briefcase made a lot more narrative sense than Lyra Valkyria right now. But Lyra's great. Lyra had a great crowd reaction. They're singing her song. You know what was great? Every time she fucking took a bump, feathers came off of her like an actual bird. It's like, what is happening? Like,
I got a kick out of Michael Cole and Corey going back and forth on commentary during her entrance, I think it was, where it's like she's not a bird, and he's trying to explain like what the bird is based on, and Corey's just like taking a hard line stance, like she's not a bird.
Fuck.
The match itself, like everybody looked so good. I did want to mention, like, Lyra was mentioned to be from the same sort of hometown of Finn and JD, which it didn't necessarily get me thinking about a new person to add into the Judgment Day, but I wanted to pose that question. Like, do we see that happening?
I kind of think the Judgment Day has their they have their own situation going on. I think we'd be if we were adding people in there and we're kind of overflowing overfilling it. We're gonna overflow it.
Unless it's an evolution of the Judgment Day. Here's an idea that I had earlier this week, if I can take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it's been teasing to this split between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. It is going to come to a head at some point. What if that point is just Finn Balor kind of splintering off with JD and new member Lyra Valkyria?
I guess do that. I almost don't want to see Lyra Valkyria tied into any kind of thing like that, but yeah, just because she's got such a good babyface thing going.
Sure.
And the Raw side could use a really good babyface right now with Becky Lynch being gone for who knows how long. It'd be a great spot for Lyra to be, by herself for a bit. But I could see it. I just would not prefer it personally. I can't find her anywhere. I can't spell her name is the issue. It's like Valkyrie, but it's not. Anyway, that was my match of the night for sure. Oops, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. Again, my fat fucking thumbs. The match of the night, women's Money in the Bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree.
I was trying to look at the notes of what they're talking, what Triple H was talking about at the press conference. It's all right. He didn't really say anything too big that we need to cover, but we could talk about our jobber of the night. George says he wonders where Charlotte fits when she comes back. That's the thing about Charlotte. It's gonna have everyone else is gonna have to fit around her when she comes back. As much as people don't like that, I love that. She just is, as long as her knees aren't fucked up and we don't have to deal with this new reality where she's cooked. Like she is a star when she walks in. The president, like you don't have to build Charlotte. She doesn't have to start from the bottom. She most likely will walk in and point at whoever's the champion. I want it. Hand it over. It's time. And I that's kind of gangster. But yeah. It's time for our jabber of the night, if any, on this pay-per-view. CJ.
Yeah, if any. Like, I'm even just going through my notes, and you know what? I gotta give it to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. This is exhausting at this point. Like, I want to get on board, but do something different. Like, it can't just be, oh, I'm gonna fuck over your life at every given turn. Like, now you're starting to fuck over Seth Rollins, and that obviously being another tease going forward, but how do you fuck up that much at once? And then Drew McIntyre obviously just kind of getting caught up in the sauce, as it were. And yeah, definitely those two specifically tie for my jobber of the night.
But my jumper of the night is an easy one. It's gonna be Tongaloa. He cannot get on screen without fucking tripping or falling or something. Damn, man.
That is fucking valid.
It's like I understand, but also damn, bro. Anyway, that's actually something I missed. I didn't realize that happened. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton, TSTS, teases. Excuse me. TS and TS teasing a match.
Backstage. Yeah. I don't hate the idea. The thing that still bothers me the most about Trish's return to WWE, even going back as far as teaming with Becky Lynch, there's not a whole lot of storytelling follow through. Like, I'm still waiting on Lita to get her revenge, and now, like, is she going to be sharing the roster with Becky Lynch again? What are we expecting for that? WWE has cared more about long-term storytelling than, I think, recent example like Trish Stratus would indicate. But it is what it is. You know, like, I'm going to watch it regardless.
I never realized how similar their names were, and now I'm starting to wonder how purposeful that is. I was like, wait a minute, hold on a second.
In this clip, it looks like Tiffany is trying to like level herself height wise to Trish Stratus, because it's like you look at Jackie Redmond in the middle, you split the difference, and it's like, yeah, tall, blonde woman, and you know, very athletically, very skilled wrestler, and you know, you draw that comparison, you have that match, and I think you got a good match.
I don't I don't know how good that match would be, but because I feel like Trish, when she came back last year, it was hit or miss depending on who was in the ring with her. And as much as I love Tiffany Stratton, I wonder the dynamics of that match. Trish leads, and if Trish leads, can she work with Tiffany? It's a lot of technical stuff that goes into that kind of match that I'm like, I mean, we'll see. Tiffany Stratton, since NXT, I've been saying, man, she's got everything. And she continues to prove it here on the main roster. She could be a million times more than Trish ever was. Seeing them together, I mean, as blasphemous as that might sound to some people, she's got everything Trish had times 10. I mean, and I don't mean like looks wise. I mean like skill. I mean like presence. I mean, there's a lot about Tiffany Stratton that hasn't even been unlocked. So I don't know that I want to see her dragged in with these old people, but I guess that's a big thing. You know, getting to defeat
dragged
these legends.
In with any of these old people with Joe Black at the top of the screen.
This is
oh my god, that is ruthless. What the hell?
Bron Breakker from George, jobber of the night. That is valid. That still doesn't make any sense. Actually,
yeah.
If to follow up on that, if I had to give a second jobber of the night, I'm gonna give it to Old Banana Nose, Hunter. How the fuck come on, Hunter? Trust me. Everything with this guy is trust me, it'll fucking take 18 months, but I've got a plan. Brother, this was the most straightforward fucking thing you could have done. It was so obvious. No, but it'll be more satisfying in 8 months. Like, give me a fucking break. There's fucking 3 other long-term storylines going on here. Bron Breakker shooting straight to the roof is a fun fucking story that I felt robbed of. I'm sure they've got something planned, but give me a fucking break, Hunter. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like that really should have been Braun's big moment, and it definitely hurt him.
The stupidest thing they could do is have him win in a rematch now. Take the fuck out of here. Not, no, he's just gonna win at SummerSlam. Shut the fuck up. Anyway,
win on a bigger stage. No, he needs to win on the right stage.
The bigger stage. He was the champ. You just win. He just fought the champion. He can just win. Now he's the champion. Now it is a big stage. It was a big moment. Whatever. I'm not gonna.
I love this idea of shorter matches or less matches that have some time that you can actually showcase. Like Tyler usually has the stats about times. How long do we know how long this match was?
I actually would have to. I think Wikipedia has it. I need those times. People always ask me to time the matches, but I'm like, I can't.
Too much shit going on.
But well, I'll pull it up as we talk about our megastar of the night, which will that's probably going to be easier for us than. So that match went 13 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay,
but, not bad. That's the shortest match of the night.
Huh.
But megastar of the night.
They had even just shy of 15 minutes is a good amount of time.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
George has Drew McIntyre for carrying a feud with an injured man for 7 months. It's very, very valid.
Yeah.
But
I
CJ.
mean, yeah. As far as megastar goes, the not cliche, but the obvious answer, John Cena for megastar of the night. It'll be 25 years by the time his last match rolls around. So his legacy and his impact is just beyond anything that I could say. He's the megastar of the night anytime he's on the screen. But I think as far as the workers that were going out in the ring tonight, I gotta say that my megastar is gonna be I had it and then I was stalling for time because I lost it, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta wrap it up here or else I'm rambling.
Yeah. He says mics are
go
muted,
ahead.
but I think we're fine. We've been talking to George. He can hear us.
Okay. Yeah. As long as John can hear me, then I know he's got everything right.
We're alive.
Everybody else to hear me.
I didn't see what that was.
Well, don't fucking leave it on.
That's a video game glitch. They happen all the time. Megastar of the night. For the performers, I guess while you figure that out, and if it's not, if I can't give it to these little thieves, then I'm probably gonna give it to Tiffany Stratton because she had such a freaking performance and they actually followed it through. Like all of the decisions tonight, minus the Bron Breakker one, were like the obvious right decisions. So, like Tiffany Stratton winning Money in the Bank was the obvious right decision, and then she goes out there and she has an excellent performance showing why they should have done it. So that's gonna be my megastar of the night. Good old Tiffy time.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I'm gonna go with Tiffany Stratton. Like she is I think gonna do very well as the Money in the Bank. Like I prefer it being used to either actually both good examples happened tonight. Like if it's a genuine push for an up-and-coming talent to can you just scroll up a little more, please? So I got real distracted. When it's used to push an up-and-coming talent like we have here with Tiffany Stratton, I think that's a great use for it. I think the other best use for it is pure storyline. Something that is driving content. So for them to use Drew McIntyre and CM Punk's feud, I thought was a good way to help build this feud instead of using it as when's he going to cash in, like we've seen year after year.
I agree. So that is our Money in the Bank. Oh, George mentioned EO. EO was a key member of the Money in the Bank match. I don't know what else they're going to do with her, but I know on July 13th, she's going to have a fucking banger next Saturday in Japan. I cannot wait. Same night as AJ Styles versus Naomichi Marufuji. I don't know how I'm going to manage to watch them both, but I will. So that was WWE Money in the Bank. I had a fun time watching this show, aside from some frustration with the Bron Breakker stuff. But yeah, man, we'll be back tomorrow night. And again, I get so focused on the fucking show that I forget to bring up all the things that are important, like the people that provide our beautiful sponsorships. NordVPN, 72% off the first month if you order 12 months on comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio, which you can scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll find the NordVPN banner, which you can use to order Nord and protect yourself on the internet, while you do internet things that may or may not be illegal. I don't know. That's not my business. That's what NordVPN is for, so that it stays nobody's business. comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio, all the way to the bottom. Just scroll. And while you're there, check out the Major Issue Show every single fucking Thursday. Every single Thursday, we kill that shit. It is incredible. Last week and this week is upcoming week, we are covering Grant Morrison's run on New X-Men. That's right, the entire thing. We covered the first 5 story arcs already, as well as the behind the scenes of what was going on at Marvel and how they treated Grant on his way in. So definitely check that out. You can actually check it out on Dershi Radio. On Dershi Radio in our video section. They have like a video section on Facebook. You can also check it out on Comic Book Click Facebook directly on the video section as well, because there is where you're going to find dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of other episodes of the Major Issue Show. Check that out. I love that damn show. I love doing that show. So following that, the Cold Case Project on YouTube, Cold Case Mysteries. If you're into that kind of thing, that's the place to get it. Murder mysteries, real life stuff, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of hours of content. Check that out. And monk.com. Smokable aromatherapy. You get 10% off with promo code DSR10. Dolphin Pod shows available everywhere podcasts are found, including Dershi Radio, the flagship newscast. I'm thirsty. I feel like Excalibur. So tomorrow night we'll be back for WWE NXT Heat Wave. I'll be here with CJ, Tyler, and Malik. So that will be a fun episode. They're following Money in the Bank. They've got a lot to live up to. So we'll see how the kids do down at the. Are they also in Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. They are in. I think the same arena. It's all nice. at the Scotiabank, and then Monday Night Raw is taking place in Ottawa, which I think was a weird decision. Like, they could book that extra 4th day, like really sell this international thing of like, hey, you can spend, all 4 days if we book this right. SmackDown, WWE PLE, NXT PLE, and Raw, and give that international crowd a real overall experience. Hell, if you want to make NXT a real third brand, have them do it Tuesday night too.
I when they used to do that
a whole fucking week.
When they used to do that in the Barclays Center in New York City, I one time you're gonna find out why it's only once. I one time bought tickets to all 4 events. They did NXT Saturday, SummerSlam Sunday, Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown. By Raw, I wanted to die. I actually hated it. You go to these shows with all these major plot developments over the weekend. and all these big surprises and things that happen. And then you have to sit down for the most run-of-the-mill, normal bullshit fucking TV taping, and you actually want to die. So I feel like it's a bad idea unless it's Raw after Mania, because you have that expectation of it also having those important plot developments, and to do the whole week. It is rough. That's when we started throwing beach balls and shit, because it was we were bored. The night that everybody did the wave to the girls in the crowd and people were really angry, we were fucking bored. There was the third night in a fucking week. We wanted to die sitting there watching this match. That was bullshit.
Now, at the same time, it was those were matches that, respect to the talent at the time, was not booked in what I would say is the best way. So if we were seeing more quality matches, like there are matches that are like I could watch them go half an hour. And they're littered throughout all three rosters. So if you book a show the right way, like tonight, where you can have, to quote Sheamus, banger after banger, to really get the best of the best out there, then why wouldn't you take it?
The best way to do that would be to overload the SmackDown on Friday and the Raw on Monday, as if it has like the spillover. The pay-per-view build matches that couldn't fit on the card. So then you get those on SmackDown, like you got the tag team championship or whatever, and then you can do some on Monday. Like, I don't know, what are they building? A women's championship match. They didn't have anything on the pay-per-view. So things like that. That would definitely make it work, because I have sat through their current format. or I mean, it was a while ago, man. Vince was in charge, so. But it's still a TV taping. Yeah. It's still, compared to pay-per-view, it's rough. Yeah. But like I said, if you are coming to watch NXT with us, or if you're going to watch NXT and then join us after tomorrow, join us, because we'll be back all week long. As always, we're here every fucking day. Monday after Raw, Tuesday after NXT, Wednesday after Dynamite, Thursday after Impact, Friday after SmackDown, 3MT on Sunday, CJ and Tyler level up on Sunday, Dirt Sheet Radio flagship newscast on Thursday mornings. God, are there any more pay-per-views coming? Oh, fuck.
No, I think we're in the clear.
Good.
Good. For now.
I need a break. I just want a weekend so that my wife doesn't divorce me.
Single, so can't relate, unfortunately. I also can't relate to that one comment about wanting to pull their hair out.
Oh, same, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I see we go to the same barber.
They love us. But,
yeah.
Listen, thank you all for joining us. There's almost 300 of you here tonight, and I love each and every one of you like a child. I would take care of you. I would feed you. Thankfully, I won't ever have to, because that's a lot of people. But I would. I would. You guys have a good night, man. We'll see you tomorrow.